Hello?
Hi, Tracy. How are you?
Hey, you can hear me.
Hey.
Perfect.
Yeah, welcome back.
Okay, I'm actually on Zoom on my phone, so I can't share a screen. Um,
Uh, okay.
but
Yeah, you
you can
sent
just,
me here. All
you
right.
can,
Okay, I know. I'll share what you sent me on Twitter.
yeah, that's why that was my backup.
Okay. All right. That was smart, Tracy. You're definitely always prepared as a trader. You have to be, right? So let's see if I could look.
So, I mean, that's going to be kind of for later. I don't know if you want to kind of go over what happened this morning or,
Yeah,
whatever,
let's
but
let's start with that. Do you know, have they named the who was responsible for
so
damaging those tankers?
Nothing has been named yet. There's been a statement released by both of the ship management companies. Neither one of them, just to note, has said the word attack. As of yet, everybody's safe. And actually, there were two tankers owned by two different companies. The firm that operates Front Altair told the AP that the explosion was a cause of a fire on board.
Okay.
And for the other one, they just didn't say anything. They just basically said it's BSM management company. And basically they just said that there was an incident and the crew had abandoned ship and were rescued and everything like that. So there's a lot of misinformation going out there right now. So I just think everybody needs to slow down, take a deep breath, and wait until we actually get some credible, verified information, because most of the information was coming from the Iranian press, which I always say take with a grain of salt.
Okay, yeah, but watch your sodium intake. Right, Trace? So, you know
Right?
what? Trace, I have to tell you something that, your reputation really precedes you. A lot of respect in the community for your looks. And, I mentor some people. And I was, attempting, I put the crew short up, I was attempting shorts here against a megaphone line. And, my mentee said, well, shy girl, she's looking for 65, 66. I said,
Well,
well, huh? You?
just now? I mean,
No,
now?
no, no, no.
Oh,
Can you see the screen?
oh yeah, yeah, I see it now.
Okay, so I was shorting it here and they're warning me about your call. Okay. And I wish I would have waited for your call. Anyway, I finally did catch it, the tough money. And then I missed the retrace and I was looking for 10, which would be, this was 650 or so. So 1.618 would have taken it to 54. So, I mean, the speed and rapid decline, the nature, how vicious this decline was, what's your take here? I can't really get short here. I would love a rally, say back towards 56, 58. Is the market going to give us that opportunity or?
Yeah, I mean, we're a little bit oversold right now. Obviously, we had this incident come right in time. I mean, it kind of, if you look at like a 4 hour or, one day, we kind of double bottomed here.
Yeah.
And you can see, I mean, you kind of,
Yeah.
we're kind of sitting on this, there you go, we kind of double bottomed here. So, I think if we can get,
Above 55.
above 54,
Uh-huh.
that we could probably do a little bit of a retrace back to that 56 area.
Okay, so I saw some guys being interviewed on Futures Now yesterday, and they were saying that there is a ray of hope for people looking for a little lift in crude because of I believe gas demand and what was happening at the refineries. Are you seeing anything fundamentally that could generate a pop here
I mean,
besides boats being
well,
tankers being
right.
attacked?
Besides that, I mean, really, I mean, there's, this big decline has been basically on that global growth slowdown kind of
Yeah,
theme, right?
yeah,
I mean, we've had PMIs contracting everywhere. Asia looks terrible. China's looking like they're slowing down, and they're a major, they're the buyer of last resort. They're,
right.
everybody's counting on them to, buy everything. So I think that overwhelming theme kind of was taking over the oil market. And, elevator down.
Okay.
But there are definitely some bullish cases for oil, as
Okay.
moving forward. I
Could
mean, we have,
could this be what you're talking about, the price forward curve, or would
so
it be the
yes.
other chart?
No, that's the Brent chart. So really,
Okay.
this is kind of a separate issue, but I mean, let's just go over quick, like some of the bullish cases. Obviously we have, Venezuela oil decline. We have sanctions on Iran, and Venezuela. We still have problems in Libya going on. And then going into the third quarter here and into summer, what we're going to start to see is we had a heavier than usual refinery maintenance season, which was also plagued by a bunch of outages. So as we move into summer, because they were prepping for IMO 2020. So as we move into summer, all these refineries are going to start kicking into gear again, and we should start seeing a drawdown of some of the huge stock build that we have had. And then going into third quarter, we have IMO 2020, which is going to, we're going to have to switch to, marine vessels are going to have to switch to a different kind of fuel. They'll probably use marine gas oil. This switch adds like 1.5 million barrels per day. And in order to make that much marine fuel, we're going to have to run an additional 2.2 million barrels per day of crude oil. So that should bring down the stocks quite aggressively going into the third quarter.
Okay.
That's a little bit further out, but
yeah.
In the intermediate term, we do still have a lot of bullish cases for oil. And again, it was a little bit oversold. So, if we can get over again, 54, 50 area, then I think we can see a move back to 56. Otherwise, this will continue down.
Okay. What was that called? The preface before 2020? What is that, a federal mandate?
IMO, yeah.
What's it stand for, IMO?
Now you got me. I think it's like marine something.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's mainly only about
it's about fuel. Just marine fuel, exactly.
Okay.
It's a switch from a different sulfur grade. So they're going from high sulfur to low sulfur grade.
Okay.
Without getting too specific.
You have any view on what's going on in Venezuela? Does it worry you at all that how we're lined up with the U.S. on one side and China and Russia having boots on the ground there?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, something to keep an eye on. So far, I don't really think that the U.S. is going to go in and attack, or invade or even try to get into Venezuela. That window of opportunity sort of passed a few years ago. Russia and China still have a stronghold there, and Venezuela is still indebted to them. So I don't think we're going to see a huge escalation. I know that there are some people out there that think so, but in my opinion, I don't think that we're, going to see that. Again, if Maduro does finally leave, because he's pretty much out of money for protection at this point, I think the oil market would see that as a positive, even if they can't get oil online for, it'll take them quite a while to get oil back up to, the production level that it once was, but the oil market would react positively to that.
So is it really, can we blame this price decline besides the narrative of a weakening global economy to U.S. production? A lot of talk that it's just U.S. production. And aren't we starting to get to price levels where it's not going to make sense to keep fracking and producing oil at these levels?
I mean, we'd have to have a sustained oil price, a sustained low oil price. I mean, we could get to $40, then
it's still pump at 40.
Yeah, they would still pump. They're still getting loans from, so as long as they keep getting loans at 40, they'll they'll still keep pumping. And I don't think the market, and the market would have to literally, be sustained at that level, because the oil market doesn't feel today's prices as far as, CapEx and production is concerned for like 6 to 9 months. So if we stayed at those levels for 6 to 9 months, we would definitely start having some issues.
Okay, and let me ask you about this attack. To me, it looks like, Tracy, I would take a shot at 50 if we broke down there. We have some type of divergence. I want to ask you about Iran, and this attack happened in the Gulf of Oman, and
Correct.
everyone's, the Gulf of the Straits of Hormuz is a different location than the Gulf of Oman. Could this have been maybe like a test case, and
I mean, I don't know. I don't
a
really.
foreshadowing of something that might happen in the Straits of Hormuz?
I mean, that the thing is that with the Straits of Hormuz, the problem is that it doesn't benefit Iran to close the Strait of Hormuz, because they still need to move their oil too. So, and they've threatened this many times over
For
the
decades.
right. So
Last 100 years.
Exactly. So, I mean, I don't really think that it's in their best interest. I think it's more of just sort of like,
Saber rattling.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, don't mess with us or we'll run
Right.
away.
Right. I mean,
don't mess with me, man, or I'm going to turn around and run
right.
out,
And
run
if you
away.
think about it, I mean, really, the U.S. Navy would go in there and stop that immediately. I mean, Iranian Navy is no match for the U.S. Navy. They're just not, and Iran knows that too. So I don't think that they, would actually do anything like that. And again,
some of the gloom and doomers are talking about, when it comes to the dollar, and do you think that we would need a weaker dollar to be supportive, at least in nominal terms? And we started to get inklings of it, and it's really not following through on the weaker dollar. I still think it could. Would that be supportive, and do you pay attention to that when it comes to oil prices?
I mean, I do obviously watch the dollar, and I trade it. But I mean,
you have a view on it?
You have to. I'm bullish the dollar.
Okay. All right.
And I have been. I think we might, could very well keep consolidating in this 96 to 98 range for a while.
Okay.
But I do think that we will eventually break out.
Okay. You have targets in mind up there?
My first target is 99, and then got crazy would be 102, 103.
Okay. Yeah, they sound like familiar numbers to me. Thanks for confirming some things that I'm looking for. And when you talk about what's happening in the oil market here, do you think that what we have going on in Saudi Arabia, I mean, President Trump has, really kind of just given them a pass on Khashoggi and what's going on. A lot of people say that the petrodollar is completely, it's based upon our relationship with Saudi Arabia. Do you pay attention to developments in Saudi Arabia and U.S. relations for any?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
what do you think's happening there?
I don't subscribe to the
petrodollar thing.
I just don't. I mean, oil's been priced in dollars. It's worked that way. Everybody's pricing it in dollars. Doesn't matter what currency you settle in, it's still selling in dollars. So,
okay.
I don't think Saudi Arabia is going to change the way that they price oil.
Okay, because that would be a major
even
deal,
if they did, yeah. But I mean, even if they did accept other currencies, which would be, kind of not beneficial, because then you have the whole foreign exchange to deal with.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not really beneficial for them. And again, I just don't believe that they're moving away from the dollar.
Your
time will tell.
Yeah, time, the tincture of time, Tracy. I recommend that everyone follow you. I'm not sure about this. You just trade your own account and you're on social media just to help people and guide people, or do you have a business model or
Yeah,
anything
I mean,
else?
for right now, for let's just say for right now, I for right now, yes, I'm on Twitter and I'm just out there helping people.
Okay, and
Um,
you like fast cars.
and I like fast cars, but if you want to bring up, I mean, if we want to talk about a tradable idea,
Okay,
we can bring up those two curves that I gave you.
okay, okay. So
If we want to talk about something that I like that's tradable, if you look at the difference between, so there's the Brent curve, and I bet that's moved this. I just pulled, this is yesterday's curve, obviously.
okay.
I'm sure that curve's gotten a lot steeper.
So
But
you're looking
basically,
at a spread between Brent and WTI, huh?
exactly, I like the Long Brent Short WTI.
Okay, interesting. And the rationale?
And the rationale is if you, a lot of the fundamental reasons are behind why the spread, this prompt spread in Brent oil is so steep, right? And
Hmm.
so right now uh, we have too much light crude on the market right now. U.S. stocks are still, 39 million barrels we've added since the beginning of the year. So you can see this in the curve, right?
Yeah.
And then we've had all the problems that we've had in the Brent market with the heavier crudes, which is, we can see this in the curve. So, and this crude curve has gotten steeper and steeper and steeper. So again, I just think that
How
if
do
you
you
wanted a spread play instead of, outrights,
do you go
that
like one by one? Are the
one
contract
by
specs
one,
the same in
yeah,
Brent?
one by one. I mean, a lot, if you have ICE, there's an actual spread that you can trade.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, if you're just on CME, then you can just do, you can do a one by one. And then there are some other platforms out there. Some of the other platforms, like I think TD and E-Trade, have sort of have spreads that they have built into their platforms
So
already. So
these
it really
trades
just
don't,
matters on your
yeah,
what
who your
platform.
broker is
Yeah.
and et cetera. So these kind of spread opportunities, they don't happen that often, do they?
No, not like this. I mean, people play them all the time, but I think I just think there's a lot more in it this time than normally,
Okay,
right?
so
And you're kind of hedged too, right?
right, you're right, on the price movement. So you're recommending long Brent, short WTI.
Yes, I do like that spread.
Okay, and current spread on it right now is about ballpark.
So the NN spread has blown out a lot. I mean, I started trading this a couple of months ago. We were at $6. It's now at $11. But you could go, some of the other, if you go a little bit further out, because as the months move up, this curve will, move up. So if you go to like a September spread, I think there's still room in that one, or a D spread.
Okay, and how are you managing risk on that in case it doesn't it
Obviously,
doesn't
I mean,
expand?
obviously, I mean, whatever your risk tolerance is and wherever
Okay,
you feel comfortable placing your stop.
and what would be kind of an objective you'd look for on this if it
So, I mean, I
went
think
your way?
that, this, well, since it's already kind of in double digits, but I think that this does have some, room to run. I think, even something like the September spread, or, August spread, because of IMO 2020, this should blow out the spreads a little bit more as well. So, anything in the third quarter, I like it, and think it
Okay.
probably has, maybe another, $4 or $5 in it.
Okay, great idea. I rarely hear about these, and I've noticed when I look at it, and I'm wondering what are the reasons why, I know they're two different crudes. One's heavy, and what we produce here is good if you're on a diet, doesn't have as much calories as light, right? Right, Tracy. So yeah, I really appreciate you coming on today, and thanks for your ideas and certain technical levels for us to pay attention to, and explaining to us and being sanguine about a lot of things that people try and hype up. You're really a voice of reason in a market of chaos for everyone that follows you, Tracy.
Thank you.
I'm happy to call you my trading warrior sister, and uh, I hope that pips rain down on this spread for you, and look forward to us visiting again down the road, and appreciate you coming in and edifying face on the oil market today.
Well, thank you. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, it was really great, and have a great summer in Canada. Is it warming up there? You have summer yet?
No,
Not yet? Oh, you're still wearing
not
your,
yet. Almost.
okay.
Almost.
Are you, and good, I imagine you're pulling for the Raptors.
Um,
Or
I don't really watch.
you don't care?
No.
All right. Anyway, I mean, be their first NBA championship. Anyway, so maybe the Raptors will they'll have a lot of extra money to put on this spread that you're talking about, and I really appreciate speaking to you, Tracy. Keep up your great work because we all love you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dale.
All right, Tracy. Everyone,
I'm a
that's Shy
I'm a
Girl.
big fan too. I'm a big fan.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Stell wants an 8x10 autographed picture sent to him in Greece. So here, everyone, here's Tracy's Twitter handle. Okay,
Yep.
I used to think it was Shy Girl, but it's Shy Grill. All right, at Shy Grill.
Somebody had girls, so.
Oh really? All right. Okay. Anyway, this is who you need to follow for great insight into the energy market. And that's going to be a wrap for us. Thank you, everyone at investing.com for hanging out with us today. Good hunting. And that'll be a wrap. So, everyone,
Thanks.
remember, yeah, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. And I'll try and figure out how to end the meeting. I usually have an end meeting here. I'm just going to leave it. Stell, maybe you could end it. Thank you very much, everyone. Good hunting. See you, Trace.
See ya.